booties for black girl nerds.
Thank you, ladies, for your time. I appreciate
Total
it.
pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure is in mine. I love this dynamic. You know, a lot of relationships between mothers and daughters, mothers and children in general are on a need to know basis to a certain age. And now with Laura and Andy, we've reached this point of no return. Toni,
Mm.
I'll begin with you instead by asking you about Bella's character. There's something sympathetic about a person who doesn't know anything about themselves. You just feel so inclined to help them. They could be good, bad, we don't know what, but we feel so sympathetic. Why do we feel sympathetic for people like Andy who don't know anything and who's kind of flailing around trying to figure it out?
Oh, well, my character has created that context for her. Ultimately, she's living in witness protection, and she hasn't told her daughter that, and her entire life is constructed and fabricated. So Andy has a sense that something's wrong, and she kind of blames herself and just assumes that she's wrong, and she's got low self-esteem. Kids pick up on stuff. They're very perceptive. People are perceptive, more perceptive than, intuition is in everyone. It's just a matter of honing it. And I think that Andy is lost because there is no truth in her life. There's no actual baseline of truth for her to thrive from. And unless you're living in an open kind of, honest kind of relationship, you'll never actually thrive. So in a way, the way this comes about is horrible, but it's absolutely necessary for their relationship to grow, and for each of them to grow as individuals, to find a sense of personal freedom, and for them to be able to communicate and love each other in the way they both actually want.
Mm. Bella, for you, when I think about Laura and I think about my mother and being a mother, your mother is the center of your universe. And to find out all these things you think you know are not actually what they are in the midst of a whole, what do you think is the most devastating? Finding out who your mother is not who you think they are, or just you have a whole existence that you didn't know about.
Yeah, I mean, everything that she believes to be true about her life is a lie. I couldn't think of a more devastating thing to learn, and then the layers and complexities to that. And just when she thinks, just when she gets another gut punch, something else happens. But what I think is so beautiful about the story is that, you're watching it thinking, well, I as Andy might think that, my mum's pretty cold and tough, although everyone thinks she's kind of the town hero. But when you learn about her motivation, ultimately she's just trying to protect her daughter, and that makes her so just lovable as a person. It's just like all these people muddling along, doing the best with what they have at the time, and sometimes it may not be good enough, but it's still the best that they can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thank you, ladies. I was just fascinated by this dynamic and what would be the hardest for me to adjust to, because my mom's down the hall. She better be who I thought she was. But I enjoyed you both tremendously. Thank you so much for your time.
That's so kind. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Hi, dear mum.
Oh.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.